Let's do
And
this.
Everyone watched
Like,
today.
yeah.
This
Well,
race? Oh, wow.
ah,
Who feels like they have a handle on the material? This is like a group project.
this meeting of the Wheel Girls Club is now in session, where anyone can be a wheel girl. I'm Anne.
I'm Shelly.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Grace. And thank you for all joining me today to mourn Carlos Sainz's race.
Racing career.
No,
That's
Sarah.
dark.
just this race.
Freudian slip.
That was so hard.
Wait.
Well, there were ups and then there were downs.
Yes, let's
Like
start with the
ups,
ups.
Yes.
the
Yeah.
qualifying was good.
Yes.
What was
Shelley's fully
different?
bought
Tell
into
us.
this is
Oh,
this is a
Williams.
Williams podcast now.
Wait, tell us what happened in qualifying.
Qualifying, he qualified in eighth. Yeah, he was fast.
Was
He
this his
was
first time making
definitely
Q3 in his Williams?
yes, I believe so. And he um I think the timing was really right because the track was evolving like very quickly. And so a lot of where you were in qualifying just had to do with like, did you get the last lap? And
The
he was pretty
timing.
consistently getting like that perfect last lap, but he was also like doing well. Alex, okay, since this is a Williams podcast,
Mhm.
Alex did very, he kind of got screwed because Hulkenberg got into Q2 right above Alex. Like Alex was in 15th, Hulkenberg was in 14th. 45 minutes later, Hulkenberg's lap was disqualified from Q1.
Wait, so then
So
Alex was
Alex,
still in 15th? Oh, because
yes,
he didn't obviously move forward
because they
in the
didn't
session.
disqualify it
Mm-hmm.
until 45 minutes later. So
They
that's why
should
the
not be
girlies
able
were
to
mad.
do that
Yes.
posthumously.
I think I agree.
Postmortem.
Yeah. So it did,
Postmortem, because you're messing up everybody else's quality session.
yeah. I think it bumped Alex up to 14th, but it didn't bump him. Obviously, like he can't
Into
redo
higher.
his quality. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's tea.
Piastri just had like an ungodly lap, like or a godly lap. I can't
a
decide.
godly. He was
Godly
touching
man.
God.
He ascended to the heavens.
I still
He
maintain
was
that
good.
Piastri, like he did a great job, but I feel like the McLaren is
Careful.
better
Not
than what
but.
we've been thinking.
Okay,
Like I think the McLaren really is outright
no.
overall the fastest car of the season, and I think Lando missed a beat when he qualified P6.
I think well, Lando had like a little blip. He made some mistakes during his qualifying. During and it was very like this is the lap. Everyone will set the, like the
Last
track was
lap
evolving in
Q3.
such a way, yeah, like
Yeah.
this is the last chance. This is the only way you're getting
Mhm.
P1. And he just flubbed it on that.
Yeah. I do have to say, Yuki made Q3.
Yuki was killing me today. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, in qualifying at this point, yeah, he's matching Max, which is exactly what
Yeah.
he needs to be doing. But
Yeah.
yeah, the
Honestly,
race in itself was something else for Red Bull. But I was going to say I almost thought Kimmy was going to get pole. I that last lap, I was so shook. And to be honest,
That
I
would have been
watched the
really fun.
highlights. Yeah, I watched the highlights. So it was like towards the end of, the video I knew was coming up and Antonelli's name was up there and I was like, who's out there? I have no idea. Is Kimmy really going to get pole? And I had inklings that Oscar got a pole but then was disqualified.
she
That
had a
was like my
feeling.
that was my feeling. I predicted it. I sent it to Sarah and then I watched it and was pleasantly surprised. But yeah, it was crazy. I guess that is the exciting part about quali because I don't it's not personally it's not my favorite of the weekend, but it is exciting at the end to be like, okay, who's gonna
Do
be
you
getting in this last laps?
do you like the race better than quali?
I like
Or
the
you're a free practice
overtaking. I
girly?
like the potential of like the chaos. Like
I love FP1.
for for quali, it's like, yeah, they're just trying to go fast and like
I
get a
love
good lap.
quali.
I know you do. That's why I said it's not.
It's
I
not
said
for
it
her. She's
cautiously.
not.
I like to see the overtakes, which more or
This race
less
was
happened.
full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except, guess
Mhm.
what? They didn't catch the DNF that we saw from Carlos Sainz. I did not know how he. I know he got
I
like
think
in a
that's from
tough with
Yuki.
Liam. Oh, Yuki. Liam was all
That
over
was
the
from
place.
Damage on the
Yuki.
side
And then it
pod?
was like a
Damage
quick
on the
fall
side
down the
pod.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They apparently did not replay it or something. So I was like, wait,
No,
Carlos
they
is
did.
out.
But they were
I
like,
missed it.
I think it was very difficult to see where the damage came from.
I knew. I knew when I
Tara knew
saw
immediately.
Yuki and Carlos. I knew he had a DNF because I had been on social media today.
Oh,
Before I watched the race. That's why I'm
Sarah.
sorry. So I just don't care.
She's not a
And
purist.
I'm not a purist. I'm all things to all
he likes the
people.
spoilers.
I love spoilers. And when I saw Carlos and Yuki racing each other,
You
I
said
was
this will
like,
be the issue.
this is going to be the end of Carlos's race. And it wasn't at that time, but it was about 20 minutes later.
Yeah. And he was having a very good race.
He was.
Yeah.
And
it was
Yeah.
I
very
mean,
unfortunate.
you could see them like hit each other, and you could see like something fell off somebody's car, but it wasn't really clear until they showed
And
the side
then
of Carlos's
he
From
car.
the
got
million
punished.
cameras, we didn't get any footage
Got
of it.
punished.
Is that
And then he
crazy?
got spanked. No.
We might cut that.
Shocked into
No, he got
silence.
really 15
We're all
seconds worth
shocked.
of penalties by the end.
That's great. The penalties?
The penalties are
Is it
out
the
of
same
hand.
people that are
No, it's
doling those
different,
out every
race to
race? Okay,
race.
because
Because
That's
it's
why
different
it's
stewards.
so-
Always different stewards. That's the issue,
That's
Sarah.
the whole
Let me
thing.
s-
Where
okay,
I
We're
loved
pissed.
I have a laundry list of items that I had
Okay, hit
issues
it.
with today. One,
Go off.
the stupid transponder on George's car.
Amazing. That was some of the best drama I've seen in years. I was like, we should always race like this. Get rid of the transponders.
No transponder, no timing. They put the
No one
timings
was
up
going
at the
on
start
all
of
the
each
time.
lap. I'm like, are they doing this manually and
Are we in the
typing it
dark
in?
ages?
I was ready to be
What
like,
is this, the 90s?
Pen and
this-
paper?
you know, it's all the F1 TV conspiracy. Like, they're like, you can pay to see the times. And the teams, Mercedes wasn't willing to pay. No.
Okay.
I will say
We're not doing that
outside
here.
of the like transponder issue on George's car, which led to not having
I
the
don't
He
think
was-
transponder is the right
timing.
word.
It is. They were saying transponder.
They were saying.
Okay.
It was making me be like, wow, George is racing like back in the like in the olden days, like when DC was racing. And I was like, this is vibes. Shut the radio
Middle
off. Let's see what it's
Ages.
really like in the Middle Ages.
I just loved his comment, like, okay, George, the dash might go out. You're still good. And he's like, will my
Keep
steering wheel
going.
come off? With like 3 laps to go. And I'm like, honestly, I'm loving this chaos for George.
Should get some
And
sort of
yet-
Boy Scout patch for that.
He should. Norris still could not pass him.
Yeah,
But-
he came very close, but
Max passed Pierre, and then they didn't even show it. And I was
That's
like,
what I was
this
gonna
is
bring
the
up.
worst television.
Yes.
All season, dare I say,
been
all
bad. It's
season
been
has
bad.
been bad.
I feel
It's
like this
been
race
bad.
was worse. They did not show Max passing Pierre. They also didn't really show much with Carlos DNFing. They
Well, yeah, because
I
tell me
There
remember
why
at one
was-
point they cut
why
to- I
didn't
think
he
there
serve the
was-
penalty? That
Who
part's
knows,
crazy,
Grace?
town.
I don't
Is he gonna have
know.
to serve it next
Yes.
week?
Oh,
Oh, that
shoot.
sucks. Okay, that's
Because
a
did they
big
switch
bad
it to
one
a
for
3-place
James,
grid
I fear.
penalty?
he was
What?
on social media being like, we did terrible this weekend. He owned up to it. I was gonna say they didn't so that safety car, right? All of the people were like, I think they're bringing it out for some debris and we're looking for it and we're not seeing
And
anything.
then they
I'm like,
kept
what's
showing clips
happening?
of the track completely clear.
Clean.
Yes. It's giving
It was
bribe. It's
bribery, and
the FIA is corrupt, allegedly.
I'm hearing
Come, come, come.
Ferrari in my brain.
Ellie's gonna cut that out of the podcast.
Should I? I'm scared. They're going to track us down. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Oscar, I know when they first called it, Oscar got right into the tire change. So that was
Good
I was
timing.
like, oh, interesting timing.
McLaren actually paid for it.
They maybe
They
did
didn't
instead of
need to,
Ferrari.
though. Why
I
would they
know.
need it?
That's the kind of decision that McLaren would make.
Weird,
Charles
yeah.
needed it. They had bad pit stop strategy.
Wait,
I
okay.
did? Yeah.
What happened to the Red Bull? I don't know which one, where it was like they were in the pit lane, but then the
Oh,
thing was
Red Bull was
So
a mess
both
today.
Go off,
was that
Anne.
Max and
Both
Yuki?
Max and Yuki, their first pit stop, the like blinking light that tells them when to go was not working correctly.
Someone forgot
And
to
is
plug it
that
in. Someone forgot to charge it.
is that a team issue or is that
I
an
don't know
FIA
if that's
issue?
team or if that's
I think
like
it's
track or
gotta
FIA
be.
or I don't know.
I think it's a team issue.
You think it's a team issue?
Red Bull
Red
was
Bull's
kind
falling
of a
up
hot mess
hurt.
today.
Max saying, I don't have brakes. I'm like, is he being dramatic or I'm not sure. And also, so I loved that in the beginning, Max was the one to call out Lando's position on the
Oh,
starting
God.
grid.
Oh yeah.
I was like, he is such
From like
a
6
snitch.
spots back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
He was
like,
in,
we
like,
can't believe
7th
Max
place.
saw it. I'm like, he is a snitch.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very interesting, chaotic race.
Now that we're done with 4 races, I feel like Red Bull falling apart.
Yeah.
Ferrari mid. Mercedes shockingly good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's not where I thought things were going to shake out this season.
What have you guys
And
thought of all
this-
of these statements between Lando and Max of Lando saying,
I don't
like,
care.
our car is not that good.
Oh,
And then Max
that's
saying,
a
oh, if you put me in a
classic.
McLaren, you wouldn't even see me.
They're just flirting with each other.
They
Like,
are.
they're
This is
just
gonna
being
get
funny.
That's how boys flirt.
And that's that.
If I was in your car, you wouldn't even see me.
Yeah. Okay, tell me since I'm captaining the ship. Tell me in your words how George Russell made you feel today.
What are you going to say? I'm
asking you. I'm saying tell me, you, Shelley,
You Shelley.
how George Russell made you feel today.
It wasn't any different. I don't know if you're I feel like he's just always kind of a menace and he's always around to just like scoop up points. And I'm like, I don't want to see him in the top 3, honestly. But that's me.
Every
Is that a
single
hot take?
every single sister's mouth was just like, oh,
Jaw drop.
jaw on the floor. Also, I would not describe George as a menace. Lando Norris is a menace. He kind of is. I mean, it's like he has a menacing energy. No,
he does. George has it in
Dennis
a
the
different
menace
way.
energy.
He is a Boy Scout. I think I'm like Max. I'm like kind of annoyed of George. I'm like, why? I don't
Okay.
know why that is. Go off, Sarah.
I didn't watch the last 10 laps.
So you didn't get the energy. Okay, we're moving on to Anne.
Wait. He got no penalty. That is so annoying. Anyways,
Why did you want him to get a penalty?
because everyone else was getting a penalty for all these like
What did he
weird things that
do?
happened to them out of
But
their.
it wasn't his fault that
for
his
doing.
that it's
I feel like there was
of
a
the
lot of
electronic systems in
things.
his car were not working correctly. So
I
I feel
know,
like that
but
wasn't his fault.
I feel that he just got away with things that other people normally wouldn't have. Like, I feel like people have had errors with their car, their tech, doing different things, and they're like, 5 second here,
You
3
just
place
can't
here.
admit that
And then
he's
they're
the
like,
GOAT.
George, yeah, let's let him fly by. Sure, give him DRS whenever he wants. He's lovely.
He didn't. No, he had to use his DRS correctly.
He did. He had
used it incorrectly.
there was like half a second where it came on at the wrong spot, and he did not mean to actually open his DRS.
Okay,
that's
Anne,
the
tell
thing.
us how you felt. We should have started with Anne.
Yeah.
I felt entertained by all of the random drama that was happening with George. I don't feel like I have a ton of like super strong personal opinions about him. Like I don't hate him, but I don't love him. But he did definitely provide a lot of entertainment this race, and I personally thought that if he had been given a penalty, it would have like set a very bad precedent of like he would be getting a penalty for something that was outside of his control.
But in the control of his team and the way that they make the car, I don't know. I honestly feel like
Well, is that I
he's
don't
a
know
good
enough about
driver,
this,
but
You
I
don't
think
get
his
a
car is
penalty for your
good.
car crashing if something breaks in your car.
you can. Do you remember when Carlos Sainz got that penalty for his car breaking because of the track and he had to replace?
Oh, I forgot about that.
See, there's
Yes.
been
People were
plenty
very
of
mad about that.
things.
Well, we need to stop the cycle.
We need to stop the cycle. I
I
think
think she's a George fan.
I am not.
Well, if George
I
has
think-
to do big replacements and take new parts, then he will have penalties for the next race.
okay,
That
so
would
I don't
be
know.
the equivalent, right?
I'm a fan of fair stewarding, which I didn't think really happened today, but thought they made the right call.
But it didn't happen today. That's what she said. Okay, go
When
off,
has it
Grace.
ever happened?
there.
What's your point, Grace, about this George
Let's
thing?
get
Are you
an
feeling
AI
some type
steward.
of way?
I'm feeling some kind of way.
That's what I
I'm
thought.
feeling an emotion, like a
Ooh.
tingle.
We're
Let's take a break.
disgusted. We're done. This podcast is breaking apart. We have a George fan.
Congratulations for having listened
I'm
to
not
the
ready to
last episode
fully-
of Wheel Girls Club.
I'm not ready to fully commit to being a George fan, but I will say he swayed me a lot today. Like, he was not complaining, he just kept going. He did so well, you have to admit. He drove a great race. Also, I'm not sure if the transponder thing is 100% Mercedes. Like, what if the transponder is actually provided by the FIA? Because all the teams must have to use the same one because that data is transmitted to
The
the.
conspiracy.
And that's why he didn't say anything bad on the radio, also, maybe.
Yeah, he was like, let me keep
That's
it
not
in
a
my
bad
pocket."
theory.
He's a
It
Boy
was
Scout.
interesting seeing how just one transponder not functioning had ripple effects all
Yes.
over the place because it wasn't just fans that didn't know the exact
It
time.
was Lando Norris.
Yes, Lando.
Yes.
Lando, be careful.
You have to
I
be for sure within DRS.
I have
Again,
to
I did not watch
say-
the last 10 laps.
That's what
Stop
happened.
saying that, Sarah.
Sarah!
In the last 10 laps, Norris
We
is
heard
trying to
you.
pass George. George's whole dash is out. He's just, I don't know, driving on vibes. And Norris's engineer comes on the radio and he's like, now be careful because George has no transponder. So we cannot tell you when you're within a second. Make sure you're within a second when you
How would he
open
know?
DRS.
Based on.
Just vibes.
Got to see his helmet.
But also
and
by that logic, the stewards don't know either. So they're just
No
like,
one
use your
knew.
best judgment. You're an adult now. You have to make your own decisions.
I have to say, Lando, not his best weekend, but I am so pleasantly surprised with every sort of mishap that happened to him that he is a fighter. So he like really fought his way back up to P3.
I agree.
And that was
Hmm.
impressive. Because
But
I'm like,
then
yeah,
did he get a
he made a
penalty?
lot of mistakes. He did. He got a 5-second penalty from Max's
yeah.
snitching.
But then,
But then
did he
they
serve
did.
it?
Yeah. he did.
Max
He
they
served it
told him
early
to
on.
doing something wrong.
He did do
I-
something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, he did, but Max is crazy for the way that he's just like outed him from P7. Like, dude, you're
is
Max is a
crazy.
rule follower when
In
it's other people and
yeah.
rules,
Yes.
but
When
not himself.
no.
He's a rule enforcer.
Yeah, out of everyone.
It kind of boggles my mind that like Max is not leading the championship right now. Like I keep
Hasn't at all
thinking
Yeah.
like,
this
ah,
year.
Max is good. He doesn't have
He's
to
up
worry about
there.
it.
He's not. Yeah. And Red Bull's
No.
not
Okay.
up there either.
Here's a question. Now that we've had 4 races, who do you all think is going to end up winning the championship?
Driver?
McLaren.
Driver.
I think Oscar. Today convinced me Oscar's gonna win the championship.
I
I
have
want
this
him to
gut feeling
show
Oscar too.
more emotion. He's like,
But then he wouldn't be
You
Oscar.
did great.
I think what did he say when he got pole? He was excited.
yeah, baby.
Yeah.
That's what he
I
said.
love that.
Yeah, I loved it. Literally no radio from him during the race, which is kind of crazy. Did not hear peep out of him.
You think that's why
He's getting the
doing
Max
so
Verstappen
well?
treatment.
He's like, I actually don't want to be on TV. I just want to race.
He
So
does
if I'm
not
in
like to
first, I don't have to
be
worry about it.
perceived.
Yeah.
I think it's the F1 producers who are like, the storyline is Lando and how he's messing up. And they leave Oscar out of it because they're like, he's not saying much. We're just gonna go to Lando because he's gonna say some sad boy stuff. And I think we got a little bit of Charles this week. We didn't hear anything from Alex. I don't recall.
Just Hamilton being like, very good pit stop, guys. I was like, you
Yeah.
know, things are dark when you're saying good pit stop
Stop.
to Ferrari, who should only be doing good pit stops. You're not at
Yeah.
Haas.
Okay.
He's trying to make up for the last few weeks.
We need to take a second to talk about Hamilton getting driver of the day.
What is happening? Why
He got
didn't
driver of
Ollie
the
get
day?
driver of the day?
He got driver of the day. Yes, thank you,
I was
Ollie.
confused.
Or
yeah.
Pierre up
What
in
did he
6th
do?
place
Yeah.
until the last lap. Like,
Pierre did great. It was
I don't know.
confusing. I didn't get to
Or
vote
George
this time
Russell.
round. I didn't get to
Or
vote this time
Oscar.
round for Oscar, my forever vote. No. Yeah, I think it was because maybe there was some sort of sentiment of like, Lewis is doing better this weekend. Let's prematurely vote for him.
my theory. This is the first race we've had where it's been like in the
Yeah.
afternoon European
Yes.
time.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
so a lot more people in Europe were watching live. And that's, I mean, a lot of people would naturally want to be fans of Lewis Hamilton would be British or Italian.
Yeah, not Dutch though. Okay, here's my theory. Because I think Lewis Hamilton transcends borders. Because
Yes.
he has huge followings in like Brazil, China.
Mm.
People love Lewis Hamilton. I think he just has a fan club, and there were a bunch of people online who probably got together and were like, he needs a little boost to make him feel better. Boom.
Yeah.
Let's rig the driver of the day.
I think that's gotta be it.
It's had that feeling all year.
It really has. I feel like it didn't used to be like this.
We sound like old men.
We do. We sound
The
like old
driver of the
men.
day used to have integrity.
It used to
Merit.
mean something.
Did you guys see there? I saw something recently come out about Max Verstappen's manager going to Helmut Marko and chewing him out, being like, Max is close to leaving Red Bull. Get your stuff together. And in my mind,
I want Max to leave Red Bull.
I'm like, where
Leave.
would Max go? I'm so
Leave.
Retirement.
curious. Do you think they'd kick out George, your fave, to put him in the Mercedes? I think that'd be the smart
No.
move.
I think if
For
Max is
Max.
not winning this championship by halfway through the season, he's just going to be like, I'm actually retiring to go be
be
a
a
father.
I don't even
Halfway
care about
through.
this.
And
I don't even
bequeath
care. I
my
never
seat.
cared.
Go be a
He's gonna
dad.
bequeath his seat to Daniel
Ooh,
Ricciardo.
Sarah.
Daniel, I'm here for it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think No, Christian Horner, he's on to Youngblood. He's going to be getting Franco into that seat once
Franco.
Max,
I
is gone.
really don't want
Okay.
Franco to go to Red Bull.
The wild conspiracy theorist in me thinks if this year goes bad, Max ends up at Aston Martin, follows Adrian Newey.
That would be crazy because Aston Martin is doing so poorly right now.
But Adrian Newey hasn't had a chance to actually develop their car for them.
That means nothing to me.
And
No,
it's with
because
Honda.
also
I really do not trust that old man. I don't trust
don't
him.
either.
How do you
I don't
not
think he's
trust
all that.
Adrian Newey there?
eventually you age out of making fast cars, I think.
Look at when
And,
Red Bull's
like, you
cars stopped
That's
being as
forever.
good. Look at when Adrian Newey stopped coming to race weekends.
I
with
don't
the
think
team.
you're wrong about that. I think you're right about the Red Bull. I think it's a whole thing to like start over again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking this, if it seems like a 10-year timeline to me to be like back
Before
on
they're
top
fast.
before they're really fast.
Yeah.
Think
I
about
mean,
the
look at
McLaren
McLaren in
timeline.
2018. 5
Right.
years.
Yeah, but they sucked for way longer than that.
Yeah.
It's not like that was when they
Ouch.
started being bad. They were bad for a long time.
I think he's looking for the next fast car and an open seat, and that's Total Wolf and Mercedes. And if there were to be like some sort of crazy mid season swap out, I think that is what would go down.
But I think Toto feels really secure in his Antonelli choice.
Yeah, George would
Yeah.
be out.
He should.
I'm like,
Oh.
George is out. He does not care
Not
about
my
George.
George. Not my Georgie boy.
I
George
don't
is
think-
out and Max is in.
I don't think any of the big name drivers are going to move before the end of next season.
Because they all want to see
Is
what
it-
2026 is going to be like.
Mhm.
They're
And then it's
locked
going to be a
in.
scramble to try
The
and
season
get
is
the
a
best
wash
car.
for Max. Yeah.
And I bet that's how they're selling it to him at Red Bull too. They're like, we're not even working on this car right now. We're working on 2026.
I hate when they say that. That's
It's
so
the
annoying.
worst. It's like, why am I supposed to watch this season if you're not even? But then maybe it gives the midfield teams more of a chance, but then they usually don't have as much money, so they're putting all their money into the
Everyone's putting all their
next
money into
year.
26.
That's like-
Everybody's like, don't even watch the season. The season doesn't matter. Just watch our prep for next season.
Yeah.
Look at that
Okay.
car.
Can we talk briefly about Alpine? They did so well this weekend. Jack Doohan did great. It was fun to watch.
Hmm,
That's a one-off for that track, right?
I think so.
Honestly, I don't know. He's
Yeah.
been doing okay.
It was, but
I
the
think they're
Alpine
definitely better.
than last year.
Yes, well, than the start of last year, because the last like 5 to 7 races last year, their car had potential, and it started off really, really horribly at the beginning of the year, and they ended up not that far down because I mean they got a couple podiums at the end of last year,
Yeah.
partially through crazy circumstance, partially through like Pierre had one really, really good race.
I mean, say what you will about Alpine, but they always make the most of a crazy circumstance.
They do.
They're always the ones who are like, oh, it's raining? Time for I smell a podium.
No, I thought Alpine looked really good today. I thought Haas looked really good
Mm-hmm.
today.
Ollie Bierman. Great drive.
Told you,
Did
he's my
guys
new
see it?
my new rookie.
Shout out, Dad. Way to go, Dad. Good energy.
His Ollie's dad
Yeah.
like talked to him on the radio. Is that you're referencing?
No, I was talking about our dad.
She was like, shout out to all dads. All dads love Ollie Bierman.
Shout out to all
It
dads.
is known.
The moment where Ollie's dad talked to him on the radio, if you didn't see, it was very sweet.
Yeah. It was a really fun midfield race.
Ooh.
I'll admit. Yeah.
What
Even though you
happened
didn't
to
see the last
Nico?
10 laps.
He's on the worst.
He got
he's in
me
the worst
negative
car.
20 points for both of my teams. I'm
He
about
got
to fire
disqualified for
him.
skid wear on the plank on the bottom of his car.
Skid
Oh
wear?
yeah.
Oh.
Skid what?
And no one's even talking about it. That's what really hurts.
He was in 13th.
Oh.
He
Not
didn't have any
low.
points anyways, but the DQ really hurts.
My team went up. My rookies are really delivering for me. My all rookie team.
Yeah, my all McLaren team went down because of Nico. And I'm like, they were up there. What is this? Yeah.
I think
Sad, sad,
Lando
sad.
might win the drivers' championship.
Oh, you're betting on Lando.
I'm not betting, I'm just saying I think he might.
She would never bet.
It's against my morals.
Stop.
I only do bingo betting.
I just made it myself a
no.
new F1 fantasy team just to like pay in. I don't know why I bothered with that because it's not like they're gonna win. They're starting 4 races behind.
Crazier things have happened.
Okay, DC told a story today that I enjoyed. Oh, did anyone hear him saying like I feel like I don't even remember what it was in reference to, but he was talking about how like back in his day, half the cars didn't even finish the race.
It's always back in his day.
I was like, I do like when he tells his story.
Back in my day, there was actually a horse in front of the cars pulling the car. We had a little lantern out front.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
When we were watching like pre and post quality and race and stuff like that, which we didn't watch a ton of, but whenever we had it on, Paul and I could not stop laughing at the just ridiculously thick Italian accent
Oh my
of
gosh.
their
Who is this
commentators.
man? Who is that
He's been on
commentator?
there a
Oh.
couple of
He's been
times.
around, Grace.
They were like, Ruth's on vacation.
He
Here's
seems
our
like a
Italian
very
friend.
kind,
he's in
knowledgeable
the
person.
rotation. He's in the
But
rotation.
They
Ellie's
had
like,
to get
please start
him for their
watching.
new pasta collab.
You
The
even
pasta
F1.
ship.
That's what I was
Pasta
thinking.
collab.
Yes, let's please talk about the pasta collab. This is the important news.
Bertoli? Barilla?
Barilla, I think. Bertoli is
Rilla.
someone else. I truly thought that was a joke. I didn't think that was real.
It's real.
Best
I
joke
saw the
I've ever
first-
heard.
I was like, that's amazing. I love
I'm
that.
pleased as punch. Are you kidding me?
Yes,
Does this mean they're going to be selling pasta dishes at the track?
they should be.
For 30
Because
bucks
I would welcome it.
$30.
for the store pasta and sauce.
Okay, okay, car-shaped pasta mac and cheese boxes.
Oh, I would eat that.
Although I don't think they sell mac and cheese, but just a car-shaped pasta,
Yeah,
I would buy.
I would buy
I
it.
think
Most likely
any
a
object-shaped
wheel-shaped
pasta.
pasta exists.
Wheel-shaped?
Pirelli
Oh, yeah,
tire
you're
wheel-shaped
right.
pasta.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Get on it.
Also, though, how funny to see all these like F1 people be like so excited for the partnership. Also, like, I have to be on board with the person who tweeted, like, I'm finally going to buy something that's sponsoring F1.
Yeah.
Because they always
And
have sponsorships that you're like never going to be connected with. Either one, this is a
Can't get a
scam. They're
Rolex.
trying to take my SSN. Or two,
Stop.
I cannot afford this. That's all the crypto. You don't want to get involved with the crypto or the gambling or this. All of that, no, never touching it. Then the
It's
other
sort
stuff
of-
is too expensive.
yeah, it's interesting. The sponsorship is like the first move towards like a people's sport of the people. Because one, none of these drivers are buying this brand of pasta. I don't know when the last
And
time they were even in
Nico
a grocery
Rosberg
store
is.
is. They don't go to the grocery store.
I've
Carlos
seen
does.
I've seen Charles in that tiny little grocery store in Monaco.
On Netflix.
Very
Do
confused.
you not
Pretending.
remember Carlos buying
He's
fajita
looking for
ingredients?
guacamole and he's very upset about the state of the grocery store in the
This is
UK.
all on
When did it
camera,
get
you
like
guys.
this?
I'm just saying it's interesting that most of their sponsorships are things that are way out of reach for
Yeah.
the normal
Yeah.
viewers.
They're
And
like,
now
would you like a
What-
Rolex?
What I'm
Yeah.
hearing is this is a recession indicator.
He's right. I hate that you're right.
You might be right.
Yeah,
It's like when ramen stocks go up and you're like, oh boy, we're in trouble.
Oof, oof. It's rough.
Well,
It does feel like F1 is the kind of sport that thrives during a boom, right?
yeah,
Recession, it struggles.
as it
That's why
should.
Sarah, and that's how it should be.
Next thing you know, they're gonna have Oral-B as their next sponsor.
That's actually a very good one too.
Thank you.
You know what
Been
they
thinking
should
about
do?
it.
A sunscreen sponsorship, like Banana Boat.
Uh-huh.
Totally.
Sunbum.
Sunbum.
That would actually be good because then they could give out samples at the races.
At the races. I'm
Mhm.
brilliant.
Yeah, that's smart. I like it. That's like, okay, shout out to what I think is another really good sponsorship that happened recently. The Loop McLaren sponsorship. Genius.
Mhm.
I bought Loop. This is not a plug,
Stop.
but I bought Loop earplugs for when we went to the race, and they were good. It's a perfect sponsorship fit. Makes sense.
I love it.
More of that, please. More of that,
Yeah.
please. And less weird gambling and vapes.
And
Less vapes.
crypto.
Less crypto, less AI, please. Less AI sponsors. Thank you.
Are we ready for next week? This triple header honestly is tiring me out. There's so
know.
much.
Imagine if you actually had to do the racing.
Racing. I could never.
And go to high school.
Kimmy. He's
Imagine if you had to
Kimmy.
do a science class diorama between the two.
Okay, the funniest part about Kimmy in high school is during the like fan zone stage, they were asking George and Kimmy were both up there, and they asked George a couple of questions, and it made it pretty clear George didn't realize he didn't know Kimmy is still in school.
Is
It
Kimmy
was like,
really still in school?
Yeah, that's the real question.
He's like doing a private tutoring thing. It's like child actor business, right?
That's like Lando. You know, Lando didn't graduate from high school. He just had like private
I feel like a lot of
tutors.
drivers don't.
Yeah,
I
that's
would be
actually
shocked
true.
if Max did.
I think Oscar did. Anyways.
Yeah, I know
Oscar
Oscar did.
graduated
I feel like
from high
Carlos
school.
did.
Carlos
Carlos
did.
graduated from high school.
And
And
he has
he
a
chose.
degree.
A high school graduate.
That's so crazy if you think about it.
I mean, essentially they're doing like an apprenticeship, you know, like they're like, I'm foregoing. They are,
Yeah.
And getting lots of money for it
if you're lucky.
once they get to F1. Yes.
So,
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Where's the race next week?
I was about to ask the
Jeddah.
same thing. Jeddah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
ready.
So it's going to be another late night?
Morning.
Early morning.
Early
Early morning.
morning. Okay.
It was
Cool,
early
cool,
morning this
cool.
round, I think. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, and this meeting of the Wheel Girls Club is officially adjourned. We'll see you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.